name is Alizea, and I'm your favorite black transsexual. Get up into the big part or whatever. I'm back. How are y'all doing, girl? You already know what it's giving, girl. You already know I'm having to push out this content for my Bookie Bears or whatever. Bada bing, bada boom, girl. Today's video is going to be a little different, girl. As you seen by the title, girl, I'm be spilling my tea on, you know, my toxic transphobic friends or whatever, girl, because I have nothing else to do, and who's going to beat me up? Nobody, girl. Before we get to today's video, girl, I need you guys to like, comment, and subscribe, because you would never find another black transsexual like me. Hello, hello, hello. I'm beautiful. You're beautiful. Get up into the big part, whatever. Go ahead and lock in on myself. So I want to sit over here and actually talk about my toxic friends or whatever, and why I cut my toxic friends off. So we're basically just going to start, and I guess this is going to be kind of a rant video. I really don't know, but I'm just going to speak from my heart or whatever. Bada bing, bada boom. So when I was sitting over here back in high school or whatever, right, I used to sit over here and be like the only flamboyant, like, gay boy or whatever before I was transgender or whatever, right? When I entered my trans journey or whatever, I had a lot of females and I had a lot of girls who would just sit over here and come up to me and be like, oh my God, period. Oh my God, yes, queen. Oh my God, slay. And you know me, that's like, you know, you're gassing my head up, you know, making me feel like I'm pretty and stuff, even though I'm never ugly. Like, girl, don't get it twisted, girl. Alizea could never be ugly, girl. I might have my bad days, but I'm always have my good days, girl. You better clock that team. So I used to have this one homegirl or whatever. We're gonna start her off. Her name is gonna be Thought Pocket or whatever, right? So Miss Thought Pocket or whatever, right? She used to dibble and dabble with every single boy up in high school or whatever, right? And girl, not gonna lie, girl, she, you know, helped me enter like the Alizea that I am becoming, or the Alizea that I am now. You get what I mean? She, you know, put in box braids in my head. She helped me get lashes, just all the, you know, the feminine stuff that, you know, a trans girl, you know, needs to start off her transition, if I gotta say it, you know, bada bing, bada boom. When I was sitting over here, you know, hanging out with her or whatever, right, we will always sit over here and talk about the guys, sit over here and talk about the girls, you know, just being messy and weird and stuff. The friend that I used to have, like Miss Thought Pocket, she used to talk about everybody. She used to talk about disabled people. She used to talk about homeless people. She used to talk about just any and everybody, and talk about everybody else's life besides hers. And, you know, me, I'm glad I grew out of that, because I used to be very toxic, and when I was around her toxic self, you know, I used to adapt all those traits. I used to talk about homeless people. I used to talk about, you know, disabled people. I used to laugh at disabled people when they were walking down, you know, halls in high school or whatever, girl. And we used to sit over here and talk about fat people and stuff like that. That's weird and that's phony in my eyes, because you could sit over here and end up like that. Like, don't be sitting over here talking about people just thinking that you're freaking immune to stuff like that's weird. You get what I mean? And so Miss Thought Pocket or whatever, right, we ended up having a falling out or whatever, right, because like she ended up fighting one of my homegirls or whatever that I didn't even know they had beef or whatever. And it was just over some silly stuff. Like, it was over the most silliest thing. And, you know, me, I truly don't care, because I don't try to, you know, stay into people's business. I don't care about what people got going on, girl. That ain't got nothing to do with me. And, you know, when she cut me off, she started talking about me. She used to sit over here and call me a man. Like, you were literally just saying Alizea. You were just saying that, you know, I'm your best friend, Immediately, as soon as you cut me off, like, you just being nasty and weird to me. And, you know, it broke me down. I'm not going to act like it didn't break me down. It used to break me down, because it was like, at first, that was like one of my real friends or whatever, right? But luckily, I'm glad that she cut me off, because, you know, I would still be toxic, and I would still be talking about people, and I would be talking about other people's lives when I have stuff going on in my own personal life. You get what I mean? And, you know, I remember it was this one time or whatever, right? This girl sat over here, like, when, you know, during, like, the 2020s era or whatever, right? I used to go into the girls' restroom or whatever, right? Because, you know, I'm transgender. I'm not going to sit over here and hide myself. If I need to go use the restroom, I'm going to use the restroom, right? When I used to use the restroom or whatever, right? Tell me why. I remember one time she looked me up and down and busted out laughing in my face, right? And, you know, I sat over here and I cussed her out. I was like, you just so weird for that. You phony, bad bill, whatever, right? And then she tried to check me. She's like, who is you talking to? Don't make me sit over here and go get my homeboys on you, I'm like, girl, I don't even want to sit over here and fight you. Like, girl, I'm too grown and too much mature for that. Like, girl, I ain't got time for all that stuff or whatever, right? And so I would just remember, like, it would just be little stuff like that. And it's so crazy because, like, looking at all my old toxic friendships, I feel like, yes, I was the problem. And I feel like, yes, they were the problem. But I always say it's communication. Every time I've fallen out with somebody, I feel like it was over miscommunication. But let's get into it. So ending off that friendship or whatever, I ended up finding a new best friend or whatever, right? We're going to call her Eiffel Tower because it, rhymes with her actual name or whatever. If you know, you know. So Miss Eiffel Tower or whatever, right, girl? Tell me why Miss Eiffel Tower, like, we used to be like kudos, like, girl, we used to go to parties or whatever together, girl, and I will show y'all the clip, but, like, I'm a little scared, girl, but yeah, we used to go to parties or whatever, and we used to cut up or whatever, right? She introduced me to the party life or whatever, right? With every friend that I've had, they taught me a lesson that I needed to learn when it comes to my transition. With Thought Pocket, she told me that I need to be very mature and I need to stop talking about people because I could end up in their shoes. With Eiffel Tower or whatever, right? Tell me why, Miss Eiffel Tower or whatever, right? I feel like she was the type of friend who was very jealous of me and very jealous of my transition because we ended up having a link up or whatever, and the link up basically kind of went wrong. It kind of didn't. I succeeded, girl. I got my piece of trade, girl, and I went about my business or whatever, right? I told this story time on my YouTube channel or whatever, right? It was like, my homegirl set me up or something like that or whatever, right? Y'all, tell me why, after we got done with the link up or whatever, right? The following morning or whatever, right? She told the guys or whatever, she was like, that's why you got your thing sucked by a dude or whatever, right? That's why you link it with dudes or whatever, right? She didn't do that one time. She did that twice or whatever, right? And both times I could have lost my life because of my friend's actions or whatever, right? And mind you, she never apologized for anything that she did. And, I don't even know why I would sit over here and trick the trade because she was influencing me to sit over here and trick the trade and not tell guys that I'm trans or whatever, right? This is why I tell all of my sisters to tell these guys that you're trans because you don't want to end up, off of the face of the planet. And luckily, girl, I knew what I was doing with this washing machine treatment because every guy that, I tricked ended up coming back and be like, yeah, I'm cool with it. Just don't tell nobody our business, girl. Well, I got story times for days if you want to really get to tell you whatever, right? But ended up, our little friendship or whatever ended up becoming very toxic because I started to always hold a grudge against her because it's like, girl, you're just so weird or whatever, right? And with her in particular, like all of my old friends used to sit over here and like I would basically say like they'll just gas my head up and like influence me to do horrible things. Like I will always sit over here and puff pass. I will always sit over here and go which I say I have to take accountability because nobody can control my life and nobody can control my actions. I control my actions and I control what I do. And I realize all these toxic bad habits are gonna not benefit me in the long run, and I'm not gonna get anywhere if I truly want to become something. So I had to let go of certain people. So with her, like, I remember it was this one time, this was what made me like officially cut her off. So Eiffel Tower told her mother, because she got in trouble or whatever, told her mother that I gave her, what do we call it, that white stuff or whatever, right? Mind you, y'all, I don't do that type of stuff, girl. The craziest thing I've ever done was puff pass and go. That's it, that's all, and I ain't doing any more, girl. Bada bing, bada boom. And so getting into it or whatever, right? I went crazy off on her. Like, I told her off. I sat over here and, talked about her siblings. I talked about her mother. I talked about how her mother doesn't love her. Like, I was going in because, like, why would you sit over here and tell your mother that I'm sitting over here doing that? Because now, I forgot to tell y'all that her mother didn't even like me. Her mother thought that I was being a bad influence or whatever. Mind you, y'all, I didn't even know nothing about the party life. I didn't even know nothing about being the 304. Like, she put me on game, if I'm going to be honest. I didn't know none of this stuff until she taught me. You get what I mean? So I remember after I went off on her, I blocked her, whatever. I went about my business or whatever, right? And so we had another friend or whatever. We're gonna call her toxic or whatever, because like that girl was very toxic, and I'm gonna get into her in a minute or whatever, right? But with my homegirl or whatever, right? Eiffel Tower, she ended up pulling up to my job trying to fight me or whatever, right? And she ended up like kind of helping, like, I don't even know how to say this, like, she kind of left a bad stain with my boss, and now my boss like held grudges with me and stuff like that because the cops were called and all this extra stuff, and now that's making his business look bad and stuff like that. And like my mama had to pull up and sit over here and tell these girls to like go or whatever, because like, girl, you're just so weird trying to fight me at my job. Like let's nip it in the bud. Like, let's go on about our business, because you trying to sit over here and fight me knowing that you're like a biological woman, like you're a cisgender woman. And if I'm a biological man, a trans woman, like if I sit over and put my hands on you, I'm in a predominantly black city. Everybody's gonna sit over here and think that I'm in the wrong, even though you tried to sit over and put your hands on me first. Like, it was just so much going through my head. It was like, you're just so weird. And every time I fall out with somebody, they will always sit over and be like, you're a man, it's like, girl, you was just sitting over here gassing me up, calling me Alizé, using my right preferred pronouns, but now that we not cool, you just don't like me. You're weird, you're phony. And it's always been people like that I will always side-eye. And it's people like that I always tell my trans sisters to watch out for, because those people were never truly your friends. Because if they were truly your friends, they would still be using your pronouns even after y'all have a falling out, even after y'all, if y'all don't hang out. You get what I mean? Because yeah, like, I just think that's so weird. You get what I mean? So getting into Toxic, after me and Eiffel Tower fell out, it was just me and Toxic in the trio or whatever, right? We used to call ourselves like the threesome crew or whatever, right? It was very ghetto at the time, but girl, we used to do a lot of nasty things, girl. I used to be Miss T.S. Madison, girl, back in my little, years or whatever, girl, back in high school, girl. I used to be, doing the thing or whatever, right? But getting back on track or whatever, right? With Miss Toxic or whatever, right? She would always sit over here, and I basically, like, I feel like she was kind of gaslighting me and saying that I'm not sitting on her being her friend and stuff. And I would ask her, like, why do you think I'm not being your friend and stuff like that? She's like, well, you're not responding to me. Girl, I work. Like, I have a job. I'm grown now. Like, well, I wasn't grown, but like, I feel like I'm grown because I had to work and stuff like that. Like, I got responsibilities. You know what I mean? And even then, like, I feel like she never took accountability for what she had going on in her personal life. I feel like every friend that I used to have never took accountability for what they got going on. You're constantly fighting with depression. You're constantly fighting with the trade. You're constantly fighting with, these guys and stuff like that. I say this a lot. If a guy's not showing you interest, kick him to the curb, girl. You need to go on. There's 8 billion guys out here in this world. Why be mad over one? Why be sad over one? You think I'm going to sit over and chase a man, girl? I got to be crazy, girl. No. I don't even think that it's ever that deep to sit over here and chase love or chase a guy and just chase that type of, that type of feeling. Like, I don't need to chase that. So when I was trying to sit over here and tell her that you don't need to be doing that, she would never listen. And she would always come and complain to me, why is he always doing this? Girl, let me tell you about girl, let me tell you about this, let me tell you about that. And then this is what I realized. When I really wanted to start taking YouTube, or I wanted to start taking my life personal, and I really wanted to start doing things that make me happy, every time I would tell her something, she would always shrug it off her shoulder. Like, she would like really be like, oh, okay, or oh, that's cool, or oh yeah, girl, I want to do that. Like, she would always try to make the conversation about her. Like, girl, like, I'm telling you something vulnerable. I'm telling you something that I truly want to do, and you're not listening. I hate people who don't listen. That's why I try, like, to listen to people. Even if I don't get you, I'm trying to get you. I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. And I always tell people, like, everybody should have goals in life. You get what I mean? So with my homegirl or whatever, right? With Miss Toxic or whatever, right? I ended up cutting her off because I was like, this is just not working for me. Like, I just feel like I'm not getting anywhere with her personally. I feel like, there's no real, like, connection there anymore. Like, if I feel like there's no connection with any of my friends, I'm just going to go on about my business. I have a horrible time communicating with people about my feelings, and I would just immediately block you or ghost you or remove you as a follower. Like, how you notice that I don't fool with you no more is if I remove you as a follower. If I move you as a follower by Nicki Minaj, I don't fool with you no more. Simply, that's just how I move. And I guess she noticed that or whatever, right? And she was like, well, I sat over here and was defending you. I know you were defending me. I didn't say that you were a real ill friend. I'm just saying that the path that I'm on, you're just not aligning with my path, and you're just not aligning with my trans journey. I'm trying to grow as a person. I'm not trying to be stagnant. I'm not trying to sit over here and just do those type of things anymore. Like, I'm growing up. You get what I mean? And I feel like she wasn't wanting to grow with me, and I want to grow up. So leading on to, girl, now we're getting into the real tea. Leading on to the friends that I had, like, in high school, like in my senior years and stuff like that, this is when I realized that not everybody is your friend. I used to have a lot of people who would come up to me and be like, oh my God, I see your TikTok, or oh my God, girl, you're just so beautiful, da 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 da. But every time I would sit over here and get, pinned against the wall, and I'm not saying physically get pinned against the wall, I feel like the world or the whole school is against me. Nobody would defend me. Like, I used to remember, like, back in high school or whatever, a lot of staff members would misgender me. A lot of staff members would talk about me. Just a lot of people in general would talk about me. I remember, like, this one guy, I was coming, like, out the courtyard or whatever. I was coming through the lunchroom or whatever, and I was heading to the courtyard or whatever, and he slammed the door in my face. And so I sat over here and I was like, you just so rude for that, like, you da-da-da-da-da. He's like, I don't mess with you F slurs, da-da-da-da-da. Y'all need to go on with somewhere with all that. What makes you think that I would even like you? And then my homegirl in the back laughing. That's not funny. That's not funny. I don't like people like that. And I realized she's weird, because if you're my true friend, you would immediately buck up and be like, hey, don't talk to my friend like that, da-da-da-da-da. But no, she was in the back laughing. And I'm not even gonna give her a name, because, like, girl, no, not everybody deserves a name, and not everybody deserves a title. You get what I mean? So I ended up having this one gay friend or whatever, right? We're gonna call him Bigfoot or whatever, right? So Bigfoot, or actually Cookie Monster, Bigfoot, Cookie Monster, it don't matter, girl. But Cookie Monster or whatever, right? He used to bring out all of my insecurities. It took me a long time to love myself, and this is why I say a lot of those jokes, like, let me get into it. What my friend used to do is, my friend would point out everything that I didn't even notice that I, like, had an insecurity about. He used to always be like, Alizea, your gap is so big, or like, Alizea, your eyes are so wide apart, or Alizea, your nose is so big, your lips are so small. You think that my lips are so small? Girl, I got the most voluptuous lips now that I look at it. Like, girl, I got the most beautiful face I've ever seen in my life, girl. I look black and trans, and I'm beautiful, girl. Oh, my face card ain't declining, girl. Bada bing, bada boom. So it was just like stuff like that. And when I would sit over here and talk about him, he'd be like, you're not supposed to say that, da-da-da-da-da. But you were just sitting over here making jokes about me. And then he was like, well, it was a joke. It was a joke. That's not jokes. I always take stuff hard. Like, I don't know. I'm a very sensitive person. And when I see a lot of gays from Atlanta, or I see a lot of just gays in general sit over here and make sly jokes about their friends and stuff like that, I don't think that's jokes. I think you're saying stuff under your breath, and you mean what you say, but you're covering up as a joke. If you're sitting over here talking about your friends' body size, or you're sitting over here talking about your friend's deepest, darkest insecurities, and covering it up as a joke, that's not a joke. That's weird. That makes your friend feel some type of way. So why would you even say it in the first place? You get what I mean? And so I would try to communicate that with them, and I just feel like I never was being heard. But with them, we ended up having a falling out, and they were sitting over here talking all about me, just sitting over here just ruining my legacy and ruining my reputation in school. They were just sitting over here creating rumors about me. And me, I'm the type of person where I don't truly care about what nobody thinks about me. And it took me a long time to get that mindset. I didn't get this mindset overnight. I got this mindset through trauma, and I got this mindset through pain. You get what I mean? And, with my friend or whatever, right? I just realized, like, these people are not trying to sit over here and push me to, push me into the right direction, push me to want to do more, push me to want to have more. I want to have more. You get what I mean? So getting back into, like, my high school journey or whatever, right? This is, like, I say, close to the ending of the first semester or whatever. This is when I started to do, like, makeup like this. I started to, like, wear afros and stuff like that. They, wanted to sit over here and say that I'm just this and I'm just that. And everybody would sit over here and laugh and say that, that's a gay boy. He wants to be a girl so bad. He would never be a girl. And a lot of people used to follow my TikToks, because I used to be very popping on TikTok or whatever, right? So I ended up having this one gay friend or whatever who didn't even know if they were trans, didn't even know if they were gay. Just so much going on in their head and their personal life. It was just so much toxic stuff. And I remember, like, we ended up having several fallouts. I had a whole video about how I got beat up by that big old black gay boy. Have that video posted in my story times, or my whatever story times, if you ever want to go, like, watch, girl. I would, go recommend after you watch this video or whatever, right? But, like, I would say, like, our, like, third falling out, we fell out because, of that fight or whatever, right? And then we sit over here and talk about my body, sit over here and call me a twig. And y'all, I didn't even know that I had insecurities. Like, everything that everybody's pointing out bad about me, I don't even look at it like that. I just look at myself as me. I can't control who I was born as. I can't control what I'm made of. I can't control who I am. If I'm skinny, I'm skinny. If I'm anorexic, I'm anorexic. If I'm black, I'm black. And a lot of people would say like little sly colorist jokes and be like, oh, you're too dark. When we turn off the lights, the only thing we can see is your teeth. The only thing we can see is just, you know, your eyeballs, And it's just like little stuff like that. This is why I say I used to hate my skin. And I used to hate being a black trans woman. I used to hate being just a black person in general, because it was stuff like that from my black colorist friends who would sit over here and make me feel less than, and sit over here and say all those horrible things about me. And it was just like, wow, like, am I really gonna allow this type of stuff? So I ended up going on this spiritual journey. I was trying to rebuild myself, and I was just letting it go. I was just cutting everybody off, and I was just trying to rebuild myself, because I'm becoming a trans woman. I'm becoming a woman. I'm becoming a human being. I can't sit over here and let these people sit over here and keep telling me what I am and what I'm not. I know who I am. I'm black and I'm trans and I'm beautiful, and I stand in my transition. So with my toxic friends, I remember I used to have little homegirls or little associates, and they used to be like, oh, girl, you know, what guys do you think is cute? Girl, I think that guy is cute. They will always tell me what guy they think is cute. Mind you, these are cisgender girls or whatever. These are biological women or whatever, right? They can sit over and tell me the guys that they like. But if I tell them the guys they like, that I like, you know, they're going to think that those guys are gay. You get what I mean? I used to always tell my homegirls, hey, I think this guy is cute. Little do you know, the guy now thinks that I'm sitting over here, you know, telling, you know, everybody that I'm sitting over here talking to him. No, I just like you and I just think that you're fine or whatever, right? And a lot of guys used to sit over here and, you know, they used to run away from me. Like back in high school, I don't know if you could relate to this, but like back in my high school, every time I would step in the building, everybody would stare at me. Everybody would giggle at me. Everybody would talk about me. And every time I would get around guys, they would literally scatter like roaches. And it used to make me so sad. It used to literally make me so sad. And I felt like I was so alone. I didn't really have many trans friends. And the only friend that I had that was even close to being trans, we used to always constantly fall out. We used to be friends for 11 years. Like it would be 11 years bound, like on and off. Like we used to have an on and off friendship. And so I ended up becoming friends with her one more time or whatever, right? And I told her flat out, I was like, hey, homegirl, this is what it's gonna be. Like, if we fall out again, it's cut, it's done. I'm not gonna sit over here and keep trying to beg you to be my friend, because I just want a real connection. You get what I mean? And I felt like, you know, I was growing as a person and everybody else was getting stagnant. I had one more friend that was becoming trans, but didn't even really start transitioning. And I felt like they were comparing themselves to me and always saying like, oh my God, friend, you're so pretty. Oh my God, friend, like, you know, I wish I could sit over here and wear makeup like you. You can. Just get up and do it. You think that I just started, you know, just sitting over here becoming this beautiful black transsexual? No. It took time. It took trauma. It took me putting in effort. In your transition, you're going to have to put in effort. And I was telling a lot of people, if you want to succeed in life, you want to see, you know, progress in life, you got to put in the effort. You're having all these goals, you're having all these ambitions, but nobody in my friend group was putting in the effort. And so with my friend, they ended up not even graduating high school or whatever, right? They ended up dropping out or whatever. They just stopped showing up, talking about they were so depressed. I always try to encourage my friends to love themselves and encourage my friends to keep coming to school and keep pushing forward, because you don't want to sit over here and be a stigma. You don't want to be sitting over here being a stereotype, like not having not having a diploma, only having a GED. And even then, I don't even think they got a GED. And not having nothing going for yourself. Truly, I always knew I wanted to get out of Waco. I always knew I wanted to get out of my hometown. I always knew I wanted more for myself. And if I want more, I'm going to get it. I'm going to put in the effort. I'm going to go get a 9-to-5 job. I'm going to go work my tail off. I'm going to go sit over here and put in the effort. I always do. And I would always tell my story times on TikTok and tell like the traumas I was going through. And I feel like, you know, they were like, oh my God, girl, I didn't even know you were going through this. But I was telling you that I was going through this. You just weren't listening. I feel like this is how you know if somebody truly is interested in what you got going on. When, you know, you're telling somebody you're being vulnerable to somebody and they're always on their phone and they're just like, huh? Like, girl, they're not listening to you. And I hate people that truly don't listen to me, because if I'm pouring my heart out to you, I'm pouring my heart out to you because I feel, you know, I feel connected to you, and I feel like I'm kudos with you. I feel like you're a real one. And nobody who I was friends with, I feel like was a real one. You get what I mean? I'm not saying that every friend I had was a bad influence and just a bad person overall. I feel like a lot of my friends just didn't know what to do with their life. And not even that, I just feel like a lot of my friends didn't know who they were and didn't know what to do in their life. And with my friend, we're gonna call her Princess or whatever, girl, because I don't even know what to call her or whatever, right? Princess, you know, we used to be cool or whatever, right? And, you know, like I said, she ended up dropping out or whatever, right? So I ended up graduating or whatever, right? And when I graduated or whatever, right, that was the best time of my life. Like, I was so connected. I ended up falling out with one of my trans friends or whatever, right? Because it was over miscommunication. I felt like they weren't talking to me, and I felt like they weren't being real with me. Like, I feel like they were just holding back so much stuff from me. I say this a lot. I'm going to share what I have with people, and I'm going to try to share my success with people, because I know how it feels to be lonely. I know how it feels to be depressed. I know how it feels. You get what I mean? And every time I would open up to my friends, they would sit over here and dismiss my feelings. And it might not even how do I say this? It might not even be that they're trying to dismiss my feelings. It might just truly be that they got something going on in their life. And this is why I gotta say it. I gotta take accountability that not my life doesn't revolve around everybody. Like, you get what I mean? I'm not a main character. You get what I mean? You get what I mean? This is my life. So I have to understand that my life isn't revolved around other people's lives. You get what I mean? Other people are going through things. You get what I mean? And I had to learn that the hard way. Every time I fell out with somebody, it would be over miscommunication. And I had to learn that I had to communicate with people if I feel some type of way. You get what I mean? So after I graduated high school or whatever, right, it was a time of my life, but I ended up starting to feel stagnant, because I was like, now my main goal is to get out of Waco. I want to save, and I just want to either go to Dallas, I want to go to Atlanta, I just want to get out of Texas, or I just want to get out of Waco. My main goal, my main priority was to get out of Waco, because I hated Waco. Waco was so ghetto to me. So personally, after, you know, the whole shabam or whatever, after all those falling outs or whatever, right, I went on this spiritual journey, and I started following Choice TV, and I started to listen to what he said. He said that everybody has the same 24 hours as Beyonce, so don't waste your time or whatever, right? And he said that a lot of those friends that you have aren't really your friends, because if they're truly your friends, they will want to push you for more. You get what I mean? So I ended up becoming cool with, you know, my old trans friend or whatever, right? And we ended up becoming sisters again or whatever, right? That was like my sister. That was like my best friend or whatever, right? And that, I was truly say that was one of the friends that I regret ever falling out with, because I felt like it was really all over miscommunication. I feel like between us, and I'm trying not to, you know, spill their tea or whatever, right? But I feel like between us, the thing that I noticed about her is she had a lot of stuff going on, you know, in her personal life. And I feel like, you know, she was becoming so depressed, and, you know, she was just going through so much. And, you know, I'm on this whole different path in life. I'm just trying to hustle and save and just get to where I need to be. You know, it's just her or whatever, right? And, you know, she's dealing with her toxic mom and stuff like that. I feel like that was rubbing off, and that was messing up our friendship. I say this a lot. I feel like a lot of friendships are based off of, you know, lust. I feel like a lot of friendships are based off of, you know, y'all don't like the same person, or, you know, y'all, you know, have the same habits, aka y'all puff up past, y'all go out clubs, or y'all sit over here and do bad habits. I don't want to have friends that have bad habits. I want to have friends that have good habits, that have ambitions, that have goals in life. You get what I mean? And so with my sister or whatever, this is what made me feel some type of way about her. What made me feel some type of way is, you know, truthfully be honest with you, she ended up like, you know, how I say this, and my bad y'all for yawning, girl. I'm a little bit tired. I just got off of work. But with her or whatever, I feel like she wasn't, you know, communicating with me, and I wasn't communicating with her when we were going through things or whatever, right? And I feel like, you know, she stopped like talking to me. Like, she just stopped talking to me altogether. I am the type of person, I want to talk to people every single day, and I'm trying to get out of that. And I feel like that's why I don't have friends right now, and that's why I'm on this spiritual journey to learn how to just be by myself, because I used to always want to have like some type of love and some type of connection just with somebody. somebody. You get what I mean? I feel like that's why I would cling on to a lot of my friends, because it's like, girl, this is all I have. Like when my mother flipped over and died, that's all I have is my friends. You get what I mean? I used to treat my friends like my family because I didn't really have family at the time, and I really didn't have somebody to say that they truly loved me. And when I told my friends that I truly loved them, I truly meant that I loved them from the bottom of my heart, and that's where it came from, is my heart. You get what I mean? With my sisters, you know, I would say it like this. Every time I would sit over here and, you know, want to puff her past or whatever, I would bring my stuff. You get what I mean? But every time she would want to puff her past, she would never bring her stuff or whatever, right? It would never be like a match made in heaven. And I remember she used to sit over here and puff her past without me or whatever, right? And that made me feel some type of way. And it was like, girl, you just leaving me out on stuff. Now I feel some type of way. And I feel like I was starting to hold a grudge with her. And I feel like she was starting to hold a grudge with me because I felt like I was starting to do the same thing. And I feel like this is why I say you need to communicate with your friends. If you feel some type of way with your friends, let them know, hey, you know, I feel like you're doing this and you're doing that. Maybe we should, you know, sit over and talk about this and talk about that. And, you know, maybe y'all could have a stronger bond because y'all communicate. But I didn't know at the time that I was being very immature. And I didn't know at the time I wasn't sitting over here being mature enough to talk about my feelings. I used to always hold my feelings inside because I used to go through so much with my auntie. And I told y'all why I cut off my toxic auntie, because it was just so much going on with my auntie, and it was just like, wow, like I don't want to keep going through this. Like I feel like I'm going through so much, and I was in a deep dark depression. I was always depressed. I was always sad. I just didn't want to feel like that anymore. And I knew deep down, if I truly wanted to make it somewhere, I might have to cut off my friends, because like I know truly that, you know, I want to get out of Waco. And so if I want to get out of Waco, I might have to sacrifice my friendships to get my own place. Literally, I would not be able to get my own place if I had to share it. Like, this is a small place and I don't want to share my spot with somebody. I don't like to share my peace with somebody. This is like my peace. This is like my safe haven, to have my own stuff. I pay my own bills. I don't have to beg nobody to help me pay my bills. I don't have to ask for handouts no more. Like, I feel great. I feel satisfied. And I feel like I'm a great, wonderful human being. I feel like a wonderful adult. I'm grown. I'm in my grown woman era. Like, I'm grown, doing grown woman things. You get what I mean? And I had desires and I have goals. And I feel like every time I would try to influence my friends to do their goals, they're like, oh girl, I'll do it later. Oh girl, you know, I don't want to do it now because, you know, I'm on an Android. I used to record videos on an Android. I used to do TikToks on an Android. Ain't nothing gonna stop me from chasing my dreams. Nothing is gonna stop me from chasing my dreams. And I always told my sister, and I always tell y'all that don't stop your goals just because of one setback. It doesn't matter. Keep going. If my phone was to break right now, girl, I'm gonna get on the Android. I'm gonna get on the Galaxy J2. Bada bing, bada boom. Hi, love. Like, I'm gonna still push out this content. I don't care. I have a goal and I have an ambition. I'm going to work every single day for what I want, because I'm Alizea, and nobody is going to tell me not. Nobody's going to tell me otherwise. Nobody is going to tell me what I need to do, because I know exactly what I want to do. I want to be greater. I want to be better. I want to shine bright like a diamond, because this is my life. And this video is becoming very long, so I'm going to wrap it up. But all I'm going to say is, with all of my old toxic friends, every time I would have a friend or whatever, right, it would just be over miscommunication. It would just be over just nastiness. And I say this a lot to all of my friends, and I'm going to say this. This is a message that I'm going to always tell my trans sisters. If these people are not using your pronouns, let them go. I say this a lot. I'm the type of person, if you're getting it wrong and I just started transitioning, that's one thing. If you know me as Isaiah, okay, that's one thing. But like, if you knew me as Alizea, but then you find out that I'm, you know, I was born as Isaiah, and now you just start misusing my pronouns, or you don't even defend me behind my back, I let those people go, because those people were never meant to be in your life. People who are truly your friends are going to want to see you thrive, and you're going to want to see them thrive. Like, it's supposed to feel like a real bond. Like, when you're around people, it's not supposed to feel like, you know, you can't truly be your authentic self. If I feel like I can't truly be my authentic self around somebody, I don't want to be around them. I don't want to be their friend. You get what I mean? If I feel like, you know, I can't be myself, I don't want to be around them. And I know I keep saying that in circles, but that's just truly how I feel. I know what I want in life. I know what type of friend I want in life. life, and I feel like that's why I don't have friends now. And I feel like that's the main reason why I cut off a lot of my toxic friends, because nobody wanted anything more. Nobody wanted to do anything more. I know what I want. I don't want to be stagnant in life. I'm Alizea. I'm black, I'm trans, and I'm beautiful, and I have a goal in my mind. I'm going to do what I want. And the next friend that I have, I want to push them to do what they want, but I also want them to understand that this is my life and this is your life, so you're gonna have to always keep pushing yourself. I want a friend like me. You get what I mean? I want somebody to push themselves, and I want somebody to just be humble in life and just to be mature. I'm very mature for my age, and I know exactly what I want, and I know exactly who I am, and I accept who I am. All I'm gonna say is, sisters, half of these people ain't truly your friends, because if they're always asking you who is gay, if they're always asking you what guy is DL, these people don't care about you. These people are just messy. I hate messy females. I hate messy cis women. I hate messy biological people. I hate messy gays. I hate messy people. I just hate fake and fraudulent people. I hate fake people. I will always say that. I hate fake people, and that's the main reason why I don't have any toxic friends anymore, and that's the reason why I don't have, anybody in my inner circle. And basically this is the video of why I cut off all of my toxic, transphobic friends. But without further ado, I love you guys. Boom shakalaka. I know I was kind of talking in circles towards the end, but I just want to get this video out because I wanted to lay a message, and I also just wanted to talk or whatever. But I love you guys. Straight Nicki Minaj, bada bing, bada boom. I gotta go, girl, because Alizé gotta go to work tomorrow, whatever. We gotta go open this restaurant up, girl. The bills gotta get paid, bada bing, bada boom. But I love you guys. Straight Nicki Minaj, bada bing, bada boom. I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Bye, loves.